Hi, everybody. Eclectic and Promptus. I hope you're having a good Monday so far. So, earlier, when I was in printmaking class, we did this technique called Encaustics. It's basically a type of wax, like a beeswax. So, I kind of liked this technique out of all the techniques I've been doing so far. I like this one the best. It's a little more dangerous because you're handling heat and stuff, but it's a little bit more messier because you're not using ink either. So basically, what you do is you have this hot metal plate. You can also use like your typical cooking griddle. We used to have those at BG1, or back when I was working there, they probably still do, but whatever. But you could use one of those type of griddles that you put like bacon, eggs, sausage, whatever on them, right? And you basically take these square shaped wax pigments, kind of remind me of crayons actually, and very cautiously, once the griddle is cooked up to heated up, excuse me, up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, you can then take these little encaustic crayon things and you just very cautiously make enough for your whatever whatever however much you need. And then you take like this Japanese style paper. One side's fuzzy, the other side is smooth. And you go on the fuzzy side, and fuzzy side down, you go on top of the color itself. You can make whatever patterns, designs you want on that. And then you grab quite a few paper towels, like enough so you're not burning your fingers and stuff. And you rub across the smooth side of the paper, and the wax is supposed to just absorb right into the paper. And that's your design. So if you did a star, for example, you can use the encaustic crayon. I'm just going to call them encaustic crayons for simplicity's sake. It's just, I think of them as crayons. So you basically make some sort of design on the griddle, like a star, for example. And then you put the paper fuzzy side down right on the color itself. And then it's supposed to absorb up, and you take the paper towel to ensure that it absorbs. And then very cautiously, you take the paper off, and you just let it dry. And if you want to add other designs and stuff, that's fine too. But that's what we basically did. I think I made up to like 7 prints today, and it's mono print too. So that's that made it easy. Also, another thing you could do with encaustics, if you have some leftover paint, you could either make another mono print, or we have these wood blocks where you could just take a paintbrush and stuff, put the paintbrush in the color on the hot griddle, and then you just put it on the block itself, and you can make your own painting. They used to do that back in the ancient Roman times. I first heard about encaustic much earlier this year when I took Art History 102, which covered the Renaissance time period up to contemporary. I don't remember learning about it in Art History 101, but I definitely remember in Art History 102. But this morning I also found out they did it in like ancient Rome, and I studied art in ancient Rome last year in the fall semester 2024 for ancient. We did study ancient Rome. I don't remember encaustic paint or learning about it then, but we did hear about it in when we were doing the Renaissance, particularly the pre-Renaissance, or it's also known as Proto-Renaissance, and that's how I did learn about encaustic painting and that technique being used, and we got to apply it today, so that was kind of cool. And I didn't burn my hands either as an added bonus, which was nice. So, and then after that, I hung out in my car for a little while, had an hour break, and then I went on to DJ. That went well. And then I came home, and I watched this zombie movie. It's close to Halloween, so I watched this movie called A44. It's a zombie film, and it's a vegan zombie film. So in the movie, if you're a vegan, you don't turn into a zombie unless you get bit. But if you're eating meat, yeah, you're turning into a zombie, all right. So basically, the gist of the movie, I won't go into any more detail. I don't want to give out too many spoilers, but the movie was filmed, or parts of it were filmed at Cougar Community College, and it was cool. And one of my colleagues, he was he was an extra, so that was cool. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I know that guy, and oh my gosh, that's CCC, that's so awesome, and totally recognized certain scenes because they took place at CCC, and I was just like, I was totally stoked when I saw that. So that's today's video. I hope you like it. Click like, subscribe, and share. Oh, and one more thing. I think it would be cool to do encaustic prints and encaustic painting. So maybe in the future, if I'm able to get some sort of encaustic painting or print kit set up or whatever, maybe I'll show you how to do that. I think it'd be kind of fun. So, but have a good evening. Have a good night and stay safe. Take care. Bye bye.